Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about stance. Which foot leads is significantly less important inside of the spindly style than it is inside of foam, because the difference in our stance is so negligible. Now I will say that greater power generation comes from your left foot being back when fighting a right-handed shielded opponent. It gives greater space for your hip to move forward, but especially if you're playing a short game with your lead stick, sometimes it's nice to cheat that lead foot forward, front blades to the arm, short wraps to the leg. So, this is going to be a more linear stance from side to side, so I guess a more horizontal stance, than you are going to be comfortable with. That is just a fact of this school of thought. The difference between which lead foot is about 3 inches from toe to toe. So, my feet are almost straight across. I bend at the knees, keeping an upright torso. So from the side, left foot lead, about a 3-inch difference between my toes, a little bit outside of shoulder width, bend at the knees, upright torso. From the back, from the side. So, hand positioning. We've got our crazy narrow stance, or not really narrow, but our crazy square stance. Your lead weapon, imagine that your elbow is being pulled into your body, and your hand is about a fist away from the visor of your helmet. So real close. Stays right there. You should always either be looking over the top or the bottom of your basket. The onside weapon is dependent on range. So from out here, elbow tucked in, and straight forward. As you progress from C to B range, your opponent is going to be throwing at what he has available, which is going to be this lead leg. So as we move forward into B, this arm becomes parallel to the ground, straight out to the body. I am physically pulling back and creating tension inside of my shoulder. This not only makes a stronger block to any outside cuts that come in, but I'm also now pre-set up to throw out of that position. There's tension in my shoulder, immediately throw. I don't have to come from a forward position, back, and then to throw. Pre-tension. So, to reiterate, C, pretty relaxed, defending the helmet. You'll have a lot of guys who'll sell something, they'll try to throw a real long offside to the helmet. So that's good if you want to continue to protect your head. As we go into B, same narrow stance, a little lower. This forearm becomes parallel to the ground, and this hand stays in front of the helmet. When we get into A range and we're grinding, now my arm is as low as possible, ideally in line with my knee, creating a wall, and this hand stays here. So now I sink into it. Often whenever you're inside of A, this hand will also come up into the hanging guard, and you'll stay hung right here. An important distinction on the hanging guard. I know that I make this mistake constantly. When we're fighting, and I go into my hanging guard, I punch my hand high to catch blows. So what happens is, if you imagine that I just threw low, that's thrown low, and I punch my hand high, now there is a huge gap between where my weapon should be and where it should not. If you're throwing a lead, and you're in the appropriate position to go into your hanging guard, all you should do is relax your hand and allow it to hit that one, like so. Now, leads generally come from C, right? So you can afford to be that much forward. In the future, when you're attempting to block behind you, the idea isn't to put the weapon behind your back. The idea is that it stays inside this position and you move your head under it. So, an important piece. If I'm throwing a combination and I throw my hand high, now to throw back, I have to retain shape, first of all, and then I have to rip it across my shape. Naturally, the arc is going to come in because I'm pulling from the non-optimal position down to hit my opponent. If I'm in appropriate shape, I dip the hand. Now, mechanically, this elbow hasn't moved. It's in the exact same position as I want it to be to throw on it. So from here, as opposed to